afternoon, friends. We are a Sunday afternoon. I'm not working. I never do paid work on Sundays. But I have had two guitars coming today at lunchtime from a guy who's driven down from somewhere in Merseyside, could be Liverpool, it's up that way anyway. Bought me two guitars in. This is the first of the two. This will be the easiest to sort out. It is in a bit of a sorry state, but let me show you what it is. It's 2008 Gibson SG. It has a vibrola type tremolo affixed, which we are going to remove because he doesn't want that on there. We're just going to go with the wraparound bridge. So I'll be removing that. We'll be putting on a new pick guard. Blah 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 blah. Did he say he wanted a new nut putting on there? I think there's a new nut going on there as well. So I'm just basically starting this video. I don't know if it needs any fretwork, but I'll just start this video just to show what we've got and what I'm going to do. Now, it has all the information I need is in a text, which he sent me quite a while ago. And I've read the text this morning, and we talked about his guitars when he got here today, very, very briefly. But let's just see where we are. The SG just needs a new pick guard putting on, the original bridge as well, the original bridge. Currently it has a Tone Pros wraparound. Holes are already drilled. I imagine a setup will be needed due to the bridge swap. That's right. Absolutely. Also, I'm going to be checking the frets. Now, I've already been over with Fret Rocker, and there are a couple of high spots on the frets. I won't know how bad the frets are until I have removed the strings. I am assuming that this is the bridge that we're going to be leaving on there, the wraparound gubbins, because there doesn't appear to be another one in the bits and bobs. There's a pick guard that's going to go on there. I don't know why it's changing the pick guard. The one on it looks to be pretty okay to me. Maybe it's not quite right. Here's the thing with the guitar, with a date on there, 19th of January 2009. So even though it's a 2008, it says a 2008 because the serial number, it's a 9-figure serial number. So you get your date from the first number and the 5th number, and that is 08. So it is a 2008. There is not another nut in there, so I think I have everything in the text. There is a little guitar, I think, wants a new nut on there. So basically, swap to just the wraparound bridge, remove the tremolo. I will check with him, however. The neck is filthy. That needs a proper clean. It's really gunked up. It's been stored somewhere damp, I imagine, by the looks of that. It's got a little bit fusty, a little bit horrible. So I'll be scraping the fingerboard, cleaning all that up. So it's going to cost a little bit more money than I quoted. I've had this plugged in. I've tested the electrics. The electrics are fine. As a matter of course, I will give them a squirt of switch cleaner and I will check them over, but I don't think they need any work. So pretty and hopefully a straightforward one. I will get back to you, let you know all about the frets in a short while. I just wanted to get this little appraisal video on there. Before I send the video or send any more text to the client, I will check the frets so we know exactly where we are and I can give him a realistic price of what it's going to cost. So, back soon. Okay, stop dead in mid tracks because the threads on the bridge posts, these for holding on the bridge, we're going back with an ABR bridge, do not fit in these posts that I've taken out of the guitar. Now, these have a screw thread on there so you can basically turn these old wraparound posts into a post for standard bridge. But I don't think that works. One, it's the wrong thread, it only goes in that far. You don't want that sticking out, stabbing you in the hand when you put your bridge on there. Let me show you what I mean. That's no good to anybody. I don't think, anyway, that these are the right posts for adding these onto. So I'm going to have to go and buy some proper bridge posts. No, not bridge posts. Thingy posts, you know, for the studs. I haven't got any here. What I do have a wraparound bridge here myself, one of my own. Great piece of kit, but it's not going on, I can't find that now. But my bridge posts, the ones I have, also don't fit. So I've got to go and buy the proper Gibson ones of these that accept these. I don't think there is that kind of, not sure that there is that in existence anyway. Normally these just go straight into the body, in my mind, or from my recollection. That part, well, you got part of this that goes into the body, so I'm going to have to go and look for some kind of adapter. Maybe they are right, maybe that does work right. Let me just screw one of these back into the guitar body here. See how far down we go. I now understand why he is putting a new pickguard on there. That one doesn't fit, it's been cut, it's been modified to fit. And that should have the holes in there. Yeah, it does have the holes in there. So we may have to extract these bushings in the guitar. Let me show you exactly what I mean. I may have to remove these bushings inside and install the correct ones. Now again, I can do that. I have the right tools to do that. It's just a bit of a pain in the groin. It does take a little bit of work. But we'll go and get the right part. There may be an adapter of sorts, so leave it with me and we'll see where we are. It could also mean filling in these holes and re-drilling. Again, that's going to be more expense. I don't know about that. I'll have to go and see. Surely there's an adapter somewhere that fits that. So let me go and see what I can find. At the moment I can't find my video. What's it thing? There you go, my remote. There you go. Back in a bit. Okay, so now we have a much bigger problem. And the reason is that to extend the holes on this pickguard is because the space in here is 82mm, it should be 72. These bushings are in the wrong place for a standard or an ABR type Gibson bridge. So we need to remove these two studs, which I can do. We need to fill these two holes, again, which I can do. We need to re-drill new holes and install new bushings to fit the correct bridge, which again I can do, but I'll do it with a little bit of trepidation because it is a big job and I don't want to be knackering the lacquer. Now we are going to knacker the lacquer on the guitar and the paint, possibly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these studs. I now see look, these original holes here on this side and this side are where everything was meant to be. Let me get the pickguard we're going to replace with, and this will explain things a little bit easier. That is where the holes should be. 72mm apart, absolutely correct. And then this bridge will fit perfectly. So that is going to be the marker for drilling the new holes. So these are in the wrong place. We're going to remove, I've got an extractor to remove these bushings. We're going to dowel both of these holes and fill them. Get it as flush as we can. I'm not going to get perfectly flush, otherwise it means going into the lacquer when you've got respray, when you're looking at another 250 quid just for that. Not going to do that. But I'm going to drill the new holes in the correct place, fit the correct bushings, and then we can fit the bridge properly. So it is now much bigger than an 80 quid job. It's now going to be up to probably a £200 job just on this guitar, because it's a lot more. It could even be more than that, I don't know yet. I'm going to talk to some luthier friends. I'll talk to Danny Lint up at Leicestershire Luthier and see what he thinks about pricing this. Also the frets, there's a lot more wear on these frets than I thought or realised, so we have to ascertain whether it's worth profiling these or replacing them. Again, a fret job on this is going to cost you 250 quid. You're looking at a £450 job all done, and that is cheap. That is me knocking some money off. So we're going to ascertain if it's worth doing all of this work. Now looking at the frets, there's a lot of pitting on them frets. I'm going to measure them. If there's any more than 0.8mm or more than a millimetre on these frets, we can reprofile them. If there's less than a millimetre on there, once I've levelled them to a sufficient height, we're not going to have enough meat left on there to reprofile the frets, and then we're going to be looking at a refret. So I'm going to ring Mitch in a minute and see what he's saying, see what he thinks, but this could be a much bigger job. Now don't get me wrong, when the work's all done the guitar will be fantastic and it will play great, but the thing is we've got to consider, if we're refretting it we're going to have to remove the nibs. You cannot refret inside nibs unless you want to charge about 2,000 quid, because your frets have to be absolutely precision cut to the nearest thousandth of an inch. You can't just guess and hammer them in, because they're going to spread out and they're going to push the nibs out and they're going to push the binding away. We always remove the nibs when we're refretting these nowadays. So we've got a lot of thinking to do, and we've got a few things to consider. So I'm going to ring the owner, Mitch, and see what he says. So let me ring him up, and I'll get back to you. I've talked to the client on the phone, and unfortunately it seems to be going from bad to worse with this guitar. That said, I've explained the situation to Mitch. I've told him I think we may need to refret this guitar, and when all's said and done, with all the work I'm going to have to do and re-drilling and doing everything with these holes, putting new bushings in there, whatever, we're looking at a price of £450 for everything done. Is this guitar worth spending that much money on? And the lad himself has said yes, to him it is. So he's also explained that he can't pay for the guitar straight away or when I've got it done or whatever. I says that is absolutely not a problem. I says, but you do understand, you know, I've got to charge what I'm charging, because I'm charging for my time, which I am. So he says, yeah, I know that, and he appreciates that I'm giving him time. I says, look, whatever you do, I says, I'll do your junior guitar this week, come and fetch that next week, pay me for that, fine, not a problem. I said, I will keep hold of this guitar for as long as it takes him to be able to afford to get the work done. But what we're going to do is we're first going to ascertain if it needs a refret. And I am looking for a measurement of 1mm height on these frets, 1mm or more. Because if I can get away with just levelling these frets and re-crowning them, that's going to save him 250 quid. So what I need to do is work out how to use this thing on its edge. Let's unlock it first. There you go. There you go. So right, that's that. I'm going to zero that out, and I think if I just go there like that, that's in inches. Oh, I think we're going to be all right. That's saying 1.22. So, need to zero that out again. I'm just going to check again. The guy took this guitar to a luthier or a tech when he was 17, and he gave him a right load of bullshit. This tech or this luthier, and he says, yeah, you need this doing that, doing that. He changed his bridge posts. He says you need this doing that. He says the guitar has never played right since he's had it. Yeah, he says he had it from new when he was 17. He's never played right, never stayed in tune. And this guy, I'll tell you the text in a minute. Let me just measure these frets. We were zeroed out on naught, so that's fantastic news. Right, okay, I think we've got plenty enough meat on these frets to re-crown them, level and re-crown. It's still going to cost him more money. But yeah, the guy was ripped off. Poor kid. Okay, there's enough meat on there to level them. I'm going to level the frets rather than refret. And that's going to save them quite a lot of money. So let me think where we are. I'm glad there's more height on there, because we're only going to remove about 0.2 of a millimetre off the tops of these frets, which is fantastic news, because we're still going to have enough meat on there, left on there to re-crown them, so that's good. I don't know full price yet. I'm going to work it out in a minute, and I'll get back. I'll let you know what I'm going to charge him. I think as we're doing these bridge posts and everything, I'm going to have to charge at least a couple of hours on there. Let me remove, let's stay live. Let's be live on camera, and let's remove this pick guard and see. He says the other holes were already filled in. I'm going to grab a text in a minute and tell you what he said to me. I'm in a bit of a mess here. I normally put things away before I move on to an exchange, and I've not done that today. I'm going to have to do it because I've got bits all over this bench. Let me just pull back a little bit so you can see fully what I'm doing. I'm going to remove the pick guard. We're going to see underneath, check everything. So we're certainly doing a lot more work on this than anticipated. I quoted him 80 quid for a setup, change the pick guard, sort the bridge out, string it up, blah 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 blah. It's now going to need a complete fret level. We can't get away with that because of the pitting and the wear on these frets. I do absolutely guarantee though, once this guitar is done, it will stay in tune. It will play perfectly well. You won't have any problems with it. But it is going to be a lot more work. We're looking at 120 quid for a fret level and setup. Then I've got my money on top of here for re-drilling and positioning these and fixing all the area around there. Why is that not coming on? That should be coming on. There's one more screw there. So I'm going to basically get a price. So we'll certainly, because we're not doing a refret, we're going to save him. It's going to be at least, it's going to be around about, I think, I've got the figure of 300 quid in my head. But might not be that much, but we'll see. If I had some fingernails, I'd be able to get under there and get out that. Right, I haven't. Why did I cut my nails this morning? Okay, there's something not right here. Has he resprayed that guitar body? I don't know. We have to, we have no choice but to remove these posts. Right, the guy has knackered this guitar here. He's smashed this area. This just gets worse and worse. Let me show you. I'm going to bring it up to the camera ever so slightly. The pickups are going to have to hang there. Let me hold the pickups and the pick guard. Right, here, the guy smashed this area and glued it back in. I can see that because it's protruding here, over here. So again, whoever did this guitar before has butchered the guitar, has ripped the guy, has ripped the young kid off. He'd have been 17 at the time, Mitch, who owns this guitar. I'm really pissed off about that because I hate it when kids get ripped off. I hate it when anyone gets ripped off. Really not happy about it at all. I'm just going to calm down a second. Shalom. That's right. Okay. Let me read you. Right, this is from Mitch himself. That's after I've been WhatsApping him today. He says, the holes in the body edge 2 mil apart, they need to be 72 mil, 10 mil difference. He said, I know, yeah. He says, I got that guitar when I was 17. I took it for a paid setup. Got it home, it wouldn't stay in tune. I took it back, was recommended to swap the bridge. So he put the Tone Pros one on. Now the Tone Pros one is this gubbins here. That's it. Tone Pros AVT2 wraparound, which is an 82 mil spacing on the post there, which it has to be. I don't know why it's changing the bridge. Okay, took it back, was recommended to swap the bridge, so he put on the Tone Pros one on. It still wouldn't stay in tune. He then swapped the tuners, still wouldn't stay in tune. After about 4 years, I, Mitch, realised the guy told him to put the bar on. When I put that on, it stayed in tune. That'll be this, the vibrola tremolo system, which I'm going to refit by the way. He says then it stayed in tune. It's got 2 sets of holes in, as from both bridges, while the other holes he must have sprayed over them and fixed them because I can't see them, which is strange. Maybe, I don't know, I really don't know what's right with this. Maybe it just needs a different bridge, I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, it's got 2 sets of holes in, as from both bridges, so as long as it's covered with the scratch plate it'll be okay with me. That's Mitch. So what you're doing, I trust whatever you think needs doing. He says, I'm now 29, shows how long ago that was. So I just says, I'll ring you. So, listen, he got ripped off. Or he got messed about back in the day. We can't do anything to change that now. There's no point bringing up opening up old wounds. What we need to do is, we need to remove these. I need to make sure this area is repaired properly. And we need to drill for new bridge posts. What I will be doing is, I'll be setting the new bridge posts. Well, I'm looking for a scratch plate. What have I done with it? I've got no idea. I'll remove these and I will drill for new posts. And what I'll do is I'll set the centre points for this, for everything, with this pickguard as a template, because I have no other way to do it. So I've got to pull these 2 plugs out, fill with dowel, which I will do, dowel and glue. We'll get it as flush as we can. And I'll centre point these two holes. I'll re-drill for new posts. We'll get some new posts in there, the correct ones that accept these correct bridge post bushings. So I know what I'm doing. It's just unfortunate that we've got this bit of damage here, which I have to make sure is sturdy. What he's done is he's not drilled the hole big enough. He's hammered that post in and it's pushed the wood out next to the bridge. Again, shoddy work, but you know, it's my job to fix it. And fret friends, fix it I will do. Good afternoon, fret friends. We are finally moving again on this SG, and what we need to do is we need to plug these holes here. So just turn that round. These holes here for the let's try and get that somewhere where it needs to be. These holes here where the bridge was before, we need to plug so we can drill for the proper bridge for the vibrola system. And what we need to do is we're going to plug these with some dowel. Now this one was smashed in, so it's been glued back in quite crudely there. I'm still going to repair it, and what we're doing is we need to get some dowel to fit that hole. Now the problem with that is the dowel that needs to go in that hole, it needs to be 11mm diameter, and you can get it in 10 or 12. These are an 11mm diameter. So what I've done is done what I normally do, and I've got some 12mm dowel like so, and I'm just basically changing its diameter by, it's quite a crude way of doing it, but taking a drill with the piece in there, taking a flat file, and I'm just thinning the piece of dowel till it fits the hole, or till it plugs the hole. And it now, one of them does. I've got it there, and not a super tight fit, but pretty tight fit. So we're going to glue this, it's a better fit on this side. There you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut these to length, and I'm going to glue them in both sides. So I've already got one here, and I'm going to go and do another one. I'm always going to be a little bit wider there, but you see how that's worked. Piece of 12mm dowel there, and we've got that. It's a nice plug this side. And once we've got some glue in there, it's going to be absolutely fine. So I'm going to saw that off as level as I can get it, and we're going to plug that. We're going to fill this hole with glue, we're going to plug it, and everything should be good. Now there's going to be a bridge earth wire here, which doesn't really help anything because I don't know where I'm going to put that anymore. And if I can get it out, I'm probably going to have to snip that and put it somewhere else. Now I don't know where else I'm going to put it. I may have to drill another hole. This is something I've not quite thought of. So let's just have a look, see where this one goes. It doesn't appear to be going anywhere. Oh, it is, it's in this hole here. There it is. So that was the earth of the bridge. So I'm going to have to find another place to put that. And what I think I'm going to do is, when I've drilled the hole for the new, let me just get the new gear out there. I'll show you what I bought. I've had to go to Stumac and I bought the proper Gibson wheels and pins. These gubbins here, they're the proper size ones, and I've had to go and get a threading kit. So I've had to go and buy the proper 632 threading tool there, also from Stumac, and I've had to buy a tap and die thread kit wrench as well. So all these bits I've had to buy extra just for this job, so I can do that, so I can get the pins in there. Now what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to drill in somewhere so we get this wire into where these pins go, and we're going to hopefully create a connection with these pins. Otherwise we're not going to have a bridge. Hang on, there's an earth wire there. There's an earth wire here for the vibrola. We're going to use that one. We're not going to need one. I've just spotted it there. Let's get this back. Everything's awkward with this guitar. There's an earth wire there going to the bridge, look. That's the one we're going to use. So as long as we've got an earth, we're going to be alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and just check that. I'm not finishing this guitar. I'm not going to match the finish up or anything. All we're going to do is we're going to get this plug in there. So we've got a place to drill for the new pins. It's the best I can really do. I may just build it up with some super glue later on. But this guitar, it's a lot of work in this guitar. It's a finicky job, it's finicky work. It needs a lot of cleaning. Again, getting the nut out is going to be a problem. I'm going to saw it down the middle again like I did on the Junior. And we're going to get it out that way. So still a lot of work to be done on this one. Big project, but it is fun and I am enjoying it. But like I say, I'm going to go and get the other piece of dowel. We'll get it to fit that hole. We'll get these filled in and we can look at getting everything ready for the vibrola system, getting the frets done and what have you. I've just done one of the more unpleasant jobs on a guitar, and that is I've scraped the fingerboard because there's that much crap and dead skin and dirty whatever on there, and I'm just about to brush it all off. And yeah, it's not very nice, but got to be done. But let me tell you, now it is done, this fingerboard is going to look fantastic. When I've oiled this, which I will be doing obviously after I've levelled the frets, this will look absolutely brilliant. A couple more bits here and there. And it's brought the fingerboard back to life. Now, when, like I said, when this is oiled, it will now look fantastic. It's not a pleasant job cleaning up somebody else's sweat from a fingerboard, but you know, part and parcel of what I do here. Somebody's got to do it. This has not been cleaned for a long, long time. This is the second scraping because I can now see the bits I missed. And you get these bits right up close to the frets, which are really icky and not nice at all. But like I say, once this is done, it will look fantastic. So lots of work to be done on this. I've filled in the old bridge posts there, almost ready for drilling the new holes for the ABR bridge. I'm going to let that settle overnight because I filled in with some dowel and some wood glue, and then the tops, just to level everything off, I've stuck some, we've gone with some epoxy resin just to bring it right up to the top. And I'm going to let that settle and cure overnight. The good thing about it is I don't have to precision level it because I'm not really spraying it. That's all going to be under the pick guard. So basically we're not bodging it as such, but we're just, you know, we ain't going to make a federal case of it. But there you go, that fingerboard's looking really, really nice now. Once that's oiled up, it'll look fantastic. And that is all the scraping done. So that fingerboard looks fantastic. What I've got to do now is I've got to brush all this crap. I should have put something down, shouldn't I? Should put some tissue down or something. Now I've got it all on the workbench. I've got to brush it all off the workbench now. But I will bring a bin over and push it straight into the bin. Icky, icky dirty job this. We are hearing the kids on the street playing outside right now. But there you go. That's all done. And it looks very, very nice. That, my friends, should be, and now is, that, my friends, is that. And we are back, and I've done a little bit of investigating since I last saw you. I checked out this wire. It is an earth wire. It is soldered to the back of this pot, which is great news. It means the original earth wire there I've taped off. Something else I've done off camera is I've removed a nut, got that out nice and clean. I'm going to replace that with a nylon one. Beautiful clean job there, all nice and smooth. What else have we done? Oh yeah, I've plugged the two bridge posts here. We don't have to make a federal case of it. It didn't have to be perfectly flush or perfectly level, just, you know, have a decent height and solid so we can drill in to put the new bridge in there. Fiona says, I'm not worried how it looks. You don't have to colour match it or anything. He says, because it's going to go under the pick guard anyway. He says, as long as it fits in and it's in the right place, that's absolutely fine. So, almost ready to drill these holes for the new bridge. What I'm going to do before I do that is I'm going to install the pick guard, get the pickles in the right place, get it fitted. It'll give me the two centre spots for the new ABR bridge. I will dry fit it beforehand anyway. It'll be a case of measure twice or three times even before I make any cuts. So that's a couple of things I've got to do. Ready for levelling the frets also. There is enough meat on those frets to level them, as I mentioned before. So yeah, not too difficult a job. The most critical part of a job is getting the centre points for the bridge drilled in the right place and making sure it goes in the right place so we can set the intonation. So we need to make sure that everything is right with that. So what I am going to do is I'm going to fit the new pick guard. I'm going to measure the holes and I'm going to just do a tiny mark. I can probably get a bradawl or something, make a mark where I need to drill the holes, and I'm going to drill pilot holes just about 1 mil wide, ready for drilling the holes proper. Now I'm going to drill the holes slightly shy of where we need to be because we're going to get a threaded insert in there and we're going to tap or die cut those holes properly for the correct thread, for the correct pins. I've never done it before. Not that that's daunting to me at all, absolutely not a problem. So I'm going to go and prep some things, get some things ready, and I'll come and give you an update in a bit. How are we doing, friends? Isn't the weather just horrible? We are Tuesday the 25th of May, year of our Lord 2021. It's not stopped raining, has it, for the last month or so? I'm a postman, I've been out in it again today. When are we going to get some warm weather? Who knows? End of the day, I'm not weatherist. I work whether it's raining, sunshine or whatever. I went out today, didn't get wet. I've got some fantastic waterproof gear. But anyway, back on to where we are with this guitar. So, I installed the new bridge pins. I had bought a threading kit to make the right threads in the wood after I'd filled them in. And these were flopping about, moving about too much. So I decided to set them with some epoxy resin, or you know it as, well, it's epoxy. It's a hardener and a resin. So you'll see it set in there. It doesn't matter if it's proud of the body. We never had to make a federal case of this. It was just about getting the bridge to sit right. Like I said, we're always going to hide everything under the adjusters anyway. But made a great job of it. Made a decent colour match when I plugged the old holes. You now see I've got the pickups in the right way. I've still got the cellophane on the new pick guard, but everything fits perfectly. The bridge is in the correct position. The new pins are there ready for the bridge. We're going to move on to levelling the frets. Now, something else I didn't show before. Look at the back of that neck, it's disgusting. I told you sometimes I get muckings in. This has got filth and umscow and dead skin and sweat all of that. I've got to clean that off. And I'm going to do that, and once I've got that done, I'm going to get the neck dead straight. You see I've already removed the nut. We'll get the neck dead straight, and I'm going to level these frets. Thing is, I'm not going to film me levelling these frets. I've done enough filming on this guitar, and filming everything's holding me back a little bit because I've got loads of guitars and I've got loads in the queue. And I do 100 fret levels a year, easy. So if you want to see me doing a fret level, you just skip back a video or two and you'll see me doing one. Just for the sake of convenience for me and saving time, I'm going to get all these frets leveled. I'm going to be leaving the nibs on, leaving the old frets in. I'll be leveling, recrowning and polishing these frets. Once that's done, I've got another big job of cutting the new vinyl nut. Pretty much the same as I did on the guy's other guitar, the Les Paul Junior. Not vinyl, it's nylon. It's a nylon nut. So I'll be cutting a nylon nut for that gap there. A bit of a ball ache, that is, because I don't have a belt sander, so I have to do it all by files and sanders, and it's quite a tricky business. I will show you some of that, however. But end of the day, cracking on this guitar. I've got all the vibrola vibrato to fit on there. We've got all the bits for that. That's fantastic. We've got the ABR bridge, pickups are in right, everything's working, and new pick guard on there. Everything's looking pretty good. Really pleased with how these bridge pins have come out. Everything works well there. They're solid, they're sturdy. I just hope I'm not going to sticking up too much. Should be okay from the measurements I've made earlier. So pretty pleased with how this is all going. So got to crack on, get this done, because I'm sure the lads are eager to have these back. I've had to wait for bits from America 2-3 weeks to get this one completed. I've had these guitars about 5-6 weeks, which was always going to be the case. So I'm going to get cracked on with these, get them both when I can pick them up this weekend, and I'm going to get this frets leveled, like I said. Once that's done, we're going to come back, we're going to start cutting the nut. I'll bring you back in and show you how the frets went, and how we're getting on with the new nut. I've leveled the frets. We're now going to re-crown the frets. Now, re-crowning the frets on a bound necked guitar with nibs is slightly different, because they do tend to have flatter frets anyway, because if you look at the size of the nibs on the edge of the binding, they are quite square. They go up, down, well, they go up, across and down. They're not rounded like a fret normally would be. So we don't crown them as much, but we still need to crown them anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to crown them pretty close to normal. But what we've done with levelling these frets, we've removed all the pits, all the divots that were on these lower frets down this end. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using I'm not going to zoom in, I'm going to do it exactly where the camera is right now. I'm going to use my Z file or my Z file by Stumac, which cuts 2 cuts at one time, one shallow, one deep, and you flip it over 180 degrees, it does the same again, and it rebuilds that crown. I'm just going to make sure I don't build it super rounded. I'm still going to leave a bit of a flat bit over the middle section. It's just a matter of and that cuts longer one side than it does the other. I've turned it 180 degrees, do the same again. Keeping my eye on the black line down the centre. Now let me just show you this file so I can explain. Where you are as a shallow long cut, and where I am, my side, a sharp steep cut, and you turn it 180 degrees, it's the complete opposite. You have the short steep and I have the long shallow. But this will not touch the top of the fret, which is brilliant, because that way it gives us because I've put marker on the frets, leaves us a black line down the centre. And once I've got that black line to the thickness I want, which in this case is about 0.8 of a millimetre, I'm going to leave it there. And that's giving us a nice rounded fret with a flatter top, but still crowned. And that crown, or that shape, or the cross section of the fret is going to match the nibs on the side. Now, the great thing about leaving that black line across the top, that's the height of the fret. It means we're not removing any height. Why I love using this file. We can't remove any height with it. We're always going to have that height intact, which is brilliant, because now we've got a frets level, the next straight on the frets level, we can't mess it up. These frets, these files are absolutely amazing. I bought a spare. I like them that much, and that's ready to come into play once this one's had it. I've had this one 14-15 months now, and it's still going strong. Cost me 125 quid, and it's worth every penny. So that's that one. So that's those two done. But what I'm going to do is to finish off the fret. Again, this is a diamond file. It's not a file as such, it's a diamond encrusted file. This is the same. It's a diamond file again, but this has already got the crown shape built in. Now, I don't want the perfect crown shape, so what I'm going to do with this one is just going to use it at a slight angle, and this side at a slight angle, just to even everything out. Then I'm just going to go a couple of strokes just across the top. Same again with this one. Angled away on the far side, angled away on the near side, and just a couple of strokes across the top. So we've still got those lovely crown frets with a flatter middle part. And those two are ready for polishing. It's going to take me quite a while to do these. I've got 19 odd more to do, so I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get these done, and when they're done we can come back, I can bring you back in and we can crack on with the polishing stage. So I'm just about to polish the frets, but before I do that I need to grab some, I thought I had some old 400 grit knocking about, but doesn't seem like I have any knocking about, so I'm going to find my roll. And I totally should have done this off camera. So where's my, oh, here it is. I've got a roll of 400 grit, just here. The reason I put this away and I wear a glove is this has got aluminium in it, and aluminium is one of the most poisonous substances on the planet. My dad died of cancer, age 59, he was riddled with it. And he was an aluminium polisher all his life. And he used to come on black, and we never really thought anything on it. Just thought, just dirty job, blah blah blah. It was the aluminium. Riddled with cancer, died a horrible, painful death. Horrible thing to witness. And so yeah, so I show aluminium a kind of respect, if you can respect something you hate. But here you go, some 400 grit. And all I'm going to do with the 400 grit is we're going to remove the deeper scratches caused by the levelling beam, and this makes it a lot easier to polish them with the other 6 grits of paper. Now the 6 grits of paper I've got lined up here, and the grits from 600 through to 2000. You've got 600, 800, 1000, 1200, 1500, 2000 grit. And we go with a finer grit with each polish, and not only does it remove the scratches, it brings them up to a nice shine. And we finish off with steel wool, which brings them to an even better shine. And once they're done, the frets will be scratch free and super shiny. This is just a rough, this really does get those scratches going that way off really well. This 400 grit. The good thing about this paper is it's thicker than that, it's quite a lot thicker. So it's great just for getting those deeper scratches out before you do the polish. Now the problem with this job is it is tedious, it takes a long time. Even a seasoned campaigner like me who does this job a lot, it still makes my arm ache. And you'll notice with 2 polishing fingers, I've got still covered by the glove. The other ones I just cut out so the hand can breathe. You see, I've had to change position because my hand aches. But this doesn't take too long doing this. Just about getting them deeper scratches off the top of the frets. Like I say, it's not the most exciting job in the world. With the camera off, I'll have some music on or some audio, something, some audio of some sort on when I work away, and I'll just beaver away at this and crack on and get it done. I've also got cut a nut for this. I'm probably going to do that off camera because again, it's something I've got to do because I don't have a belt sander, I'm going to have to do it by hand. And it takes a while. And I'm quite a traditionalist, I do a lot of things the old way. That's because I can't really have, there's certain tools I can't have here. Having just a converted living room as a workshop, there are certain drawbacks and limitations. You know, I can't be having a load of power tools in here. It's like, in reality I'd like a drill press, I'd like a belt sander, I'd love a plane, thickness planer and all these things, but it's just not going to happen here. These things will happen when I've got a dedicated workshop, if I ever get one while I'm in England. I probably won't. I'm only going to be only planning to be in England for another 3 years. My wife and I will be moving to Canada. Definitely before I'm 60 anyway. And I'll be 56 next month. But there you go, that's that done. And that's all of those scratches removed. Give that a quick brush. Job well done, get rid of that now, I don't need that again. So yeah, the 6 grits, first one 600. And you'll do 24 frets with a piece this size. I'll do the first 8 with the top off, the second 8 with the middle, and the third 8 with the bottom. No, there's only 21, 22 on here, so gives a little bit of leeway. But all we do is we're just going straight across the top of the fret. Don't need to do the sides really. We can just get into the sides a little bit. We're just mainly concentrating on the top because that's where the frets are scratched up. And that's one done. And we'll just move the paper across 2 or 3 mil. And we'll move across to the next one. Like so. And there you go. Move across 2 or 3 mil again. Getting towards halfway on the paper, just at the last 10 or 15 millimeters, and that's 4 frets done, look. Again, move across. I'm slightly doing the sides, I'm not just concentrating on the top. And they're looking pretty good already. But we don't scrimp on this job, we're still going to go across with all the grits. If you get more than 7 or 8 done with this piece, you're well happy, you're doing really well. And there you go, we've done 3, 6, we've done 9 frets, we've used a third of the paper, and then we'll flip over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll start here. And we'll start using the middle bit now. So you get the idea. It's going to take me a while. Like I said, I've got another 5 grits to get through, and I've got steel wool to get through, so I'm going to crack on, get it all done off camera. But once that's done, all I've got to do is cut the nut. Once the nut's done, fit the tremolo, peel this covering off the pick guard there, and we can get some strings on and get it all set up. So I've been through with all the grits of paper. The frets look fabulous, but they're not finished. Steel wool, finest grade steel wool. This is super fine. And this will bring the frets up to a fantastic shine. It will be glass-like and beautiful. You're not going to see the benefit from where the camera's set, but my goodness, that looks astonishing. It looks like it's been chromed. And these frets look fabulous. It'll be like having a brand new neck on this guitar now. And the lad whose guitar this is looked out because I've not put my fret leveling prices up for a bit, but I've put my fretting prices up, but I'm just about to put up my fret leveling prices to £125 from 115. So he's made a bit of a saving there. But yeah, my goodness, these look fabulous. They are stunning. So I'm going to crack on, get these done. Once they're done, I'm going to peel off the tape, get the nut cut. I'm going to bring you back in when I'm ready to fit the nut, and I'll show you the frets at the same time. I'm not filming absolutely everything on this guitar. Again, you know, these are just reference points for the owner, and I know you're still going to be interested in the video. It's just, the more I video, the more I talk, the less work I get done, and I have been inundated this year with guitars. I've still got 23 in the queue, and we're now end of May. Beginning of January, I think I had something like 54 in the queue. That's gone down, it's gone down a lot, but as guitars have gone out, more have come in and more people have been added to the queue. So, you know, I'm not complaining, it's absolutely fantastic. But with me working back at Royal Mail, I don't have as much time to do guitars as I'd like. So I'm going to crack on, get this done, and I'll bring you back in a bit. So I've rough cut the nut. I say rough cut, I've filed it and sanded it. This is a piece of nylon the client sent. I put a nylon nut on his Les Paul Junior last week, and he says, could you put one on the thingy as well? And this stuff is really difficult to work when you've only got files and sanding paper. It took me quite a while to do this. It took me about an hour just to get it to that shape, but we now have it beautifully shaped and sitting lovely in the nut slot there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the sides. Got plenty on the top, it's got plenty of height there, So that's one good thing. But one good is I'm going to cut the width, get it glued in, and we're going to shape it on the guitar. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to remove this tape soon. I just want to show why you're here. I want to show the frets because I am blown away by how amazing and fabulous these frets look. I've got to turn the guitar over, but there you go, look at them. They look better than new. They look absolutely fantastic. They've come out really, really well, so really pleased with them. I've not peeled the tape off yet. I'm going to peel the tape off this end now because I'm going to cut one up and glue it in. So just take this bit off this end here. Got a nice clean nut slot there. In fact, I may as well take all this off now and get it all off. Now, this has been sat on a few days, so it's not the easiest thing to go. It's supposed to be low tack tape this. But yeah, but these frets look absolutely stunning. You never looked this good when it was new, I guarantee it. You'll really pop once I've oiled the fingerboard. That's when you'll really see pop, but they look absolutely stunning. That's as good a fret polish as I've ever done, I think. A lot of time gone into this guitar. Still, the lad that has paid for it, crikey, he's spent 480 quid on 2 guitars, having 2 guitars upgraded and fret leveled and what have you. And bits and bobs doing. I've not ripped myself off on this one. I've charged him full whack, which I'm doing nowadays. I'm charging. Danny Lynn at Licious Luthiers, him and Danny and Natalie, husband and wife, took over from Nigel Roberts. Danny was Nigel's apprentice for 10-12 years. Great luthier in his own right, and he says, Vic, he says, charge what you're worth. He says, just charge what you're worth and they'll pay it or they won't. He says, but charge what you're worth, stop knocking people money off. And he's absolutely right, run it as a business. I really can't argue with him on that. But anyway, this is looking stunning. I am blowing my own trumpet. It does look absolutely fabulous. So let me just show you these frets again. All of this tape can come off now. There you go. Let's just get it over here like that. Can you see those there? They look absolutely stunning. I'm just gonna zoom out so you can see the guitar. And there's a guitar. So yeah, ready to fit the nut. All this gubbins can come off now because all the polishing is done. I need to be careful of when removing this tape. Even though it is low tack tape, I have in the past pulled paint away before, especially I did one on a Les Paul custom once. And I rung the bloke to let him know. He says, I don't know about it. He says, it's guitar. He says, they get dinged. He says, it's come off when you're pulling your tape off, it's come off when you pulled your tape off, no problem. He's actually one of my best clients. He has been for a number of years, 6 years. And, I do all his guitars. And he won't go to anyone else. And he lives out in Canada. I says, why don't you go somewhere in Birmingham? It's a lot closer. He says, tried them all. He says, they're no good. He says, and I found you. He says, and you've never let me down. You know, so there you go. How's that? So yeah, really pleased with how these frets have come out. They look stunning. I'm not going to save any of this. Normally I'll pull some bits off and save it for masking up and what have you later, but I've got plenty of this in stock. And while we're at it, we may as well whip this cellophane off the scratch plate now. Brand new scratch plate on there. Put some new pickle screws in as well because the old ones weren't right. And springs, change some springs. That looks fabulous. So yeah, look at that. What do you reckon? Get in there. Just need to get that nut sorted out. Once that nut's on, we can give this all a clean. We can get the new bridge on. We can get the vibrola system all installed, and we can get some strings on and get it set up. So yeah, it's really getting there. One thing I do need to do is clean all this crap off the back of the neck. Look at that. That's sweat and blood and horribleness, and I don't wipe that off for a water to myself, but you know, it's the way it is. Anyway, I'm going to crack on. So, I appreciate we're not using files, sandpaper. That's it really. And there you go, that's a pre-shape knot. We don't have a curve in it yet where it needs to be, but we do have the base and the edges all nicely rolled over, all nicely sanded smooth. And we'll have it fitting beautiful on the guitar. Now normally I just place a dab of glue in there, but I ain't going to do that on this occasion. I'm going to set the knot where it needs to be. Just checking with the thumbnail that it's right up to the edge. I'm happy where it is. Got more of an underlap than anything, probably a little bit inside the edges of the neck there, but that's not a problem. I'm liking where that is. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to drop super glue just down that slot. I'm going to need a nozzle on the end of my glue bottle, and all I'm going to do is just drop a little glue and let it seep in. You probably can't see that because I'm right on the edge of the table. I've just lifted the, all I'm doing is just dropping a little bead of glue down the edge and let it find its level itself. And all I'm going to do is wipe up the excess I've got there. Let the glue do its stuff. Hopefully we've got nothing splabbed out the sides there. And we're going to let that, all I'll do is put a little bead of glue this side of the knot there, and that should be enough just to hold it in place. And that knot is now secure. So I'm going to give it a few minutes, let that do its thing. I'm going to clean this. I'm going to clean the neck and the body. We're going to get some cleaning something on there. We've got all this crap to clean up off the back of the neck. I'm going to set to that right now. And I don't know what I'm going to use. I'm just going to use this cloth. I may have to get some white spirit on there. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to use. I'm going to grab some white spirit. This is all, it's horrible. I'm assuming it's just grime and gunk and crap off people's fingers. We should find out. It's exactly what it is. Good thing about white spirit is it cuts straight through grease and crap and scowl and these kind of gubbins. And then what I'll do is I'll go across with some naphtha, or the closest thing up to naphtha, which is Zippo lighter fluid. So it's exactly the same, it is naphtha. I think I thought it was the end of the bottle there. I'm not, but any spillage we get in places don't need to be, it'll evaporate anyway. But this is a good generous general cleaner anyway. That's a lot of grime and crap come off that. And there's no reason for that back cover plate to be off, so I'm going to actually put that on right now. Just get these up and out of the way. Right, Like so. We'll get the back plate on there. And yeah, I'm going to get the vibrato system. It's actually called a vibrato. I'm going to get that fitted in a minute when I've got its back plate on, and I'll come back and show you where we are, and we'll start to cut this nut properly and look at getting some strings on. There we are, guys. This guitar is all done, and I didn't stand on ceremony. I didn't mess about. I know I've done a lot of work since you last saw the guitar. I just didn't film anything. I just wanted to get this one done. So I'll recap what I've done since you last saw me. Put the strap pin back in. Fitted the Maestro vibrola. I've glued in and cut and shaped a brand new nut made of nylon, which is what the owner wanted, a la 1950s. It's had a complete setup. Complete fret level. We had a lot of body modification, filled in some holes, drilled others, fitted the pins for the new bridge, the ABR bridge, set up the tremolo, fitted the tremolo. This hole's been plugged and all sorts on here. Particularly the nut has gone superb, that nut. Gave it a right good clean. I've done a fret level, I've had to scrape the fingerboard, level, recrown and polish the frets. I've also had to get all the gunk and all the crap off the back of the neck. So it's had a lot of work, and it's been an expensive job for the client, but it would be. I've not ripped myself off. I've charged him full whack, and what a fantastic guitar it is. So we've got the Maestro vibrola on there. What a beautiful, beautiful thing. It looks absolutely stunning, but it is ready to go. So I'm going to get it back in its case, let the owner know it's ready to pick up, and it's all done. So until the next time, just remind you of my website before I go, fretfriend.co.uk, even better, facebook.com/ng17, that's NGONESEVEN. This one's done, going to move it on. So as always, till next time, God bless you. Be good to each other, and I will see you in the next one.